The Young and the Restless spoilers Tuesday full episodes the 2nd of September 2025. A web of betrayals, truths, and power struggles. As the drama unfolds in Genoa City, tensions rise, hearts break, and secrets spill over like a river with no dam to hold them back. One of the most anticipated confrontations that has been building for weeks centers around Audra Charles and Nate Hastings. The intricate dance of love, ambition, and revenge is poised to take center stage, revealing truths that will change the lives of several key players. But this isn't the only plot that's going to shake up the dynamics in Genoa City. Jack Abbott is gearing up to take on Victor Newman in a battle of wills, and Victoria Newman becomes a pillar of support for Jack in the coming days. The lines between allies and enemies blur, and as everyone knows in the world of Y&R, nothing is ever as it seems. Audra's confession, the truth behind the manipulations. Audra Charles has always been an enigmatic figure, clever, ambitious, and fiercely determined to get what she wants. For weeks now, her covert moves have been carefully calculated, her relationships formed with a mix of desire and calculation. Yet, as the truth starts to unravel, Audra is forced to come face to face with the damage she's caused. Her encounter with Nate Hastings in Crimson Lights marks a pivotal turning point in her story, one that will alter her trajectory in Genoa City forever. Nate, full of hurt and confusion, walks into Crimson Lights, and Audra knows immediately why he's there. She's been dreading this moment for so long. Nate confronts her about their last interaction, when she abandoned him in his time of need, a moment that still haunts him. His words cut through the air like a sharp knife. "Do you remember the last time I saw you? You left me, Audra." Just like that. Audra, feeling the weight of her own guilt, looks at him, her mind racing. She knows she has to come clean. "You're overreacting," she says, trying to deflect. But the words feel hollow in the air between them. She pauses, her breath shaky as she admits, "I was wrong." It's the first step in a long journey of confession and reckoning that will reverberate throughout the lives of those around her. But Nate's need for the truth isn't something Audra can avoid. As the conversation continues, she asks if there's any way to fix things between them, if there's a chance for reconciliation. Nate, however, makes it clear that all he's ever wanted from her is honesty. "Just tell me the truth, Audra. That's all I need." In a moment of brutal vulnerability, Audra finally admits the one thing she's been trying to hide: her true motivations. "I pursued Kyle because I wanted to get what I needed," she says, her voice low but steady. "But I swear, Nate, I never slept with him, never let it go that far." But Nate, skeptical as ever, doesn't let her off the hook so easily. "How far is too far, Audra? Because you didn't seem to mind kissing him." Her eyes flash with a mix of guilt and frustration. She's backed into a corner, but she's ready to face the consequences of her actions. "You don't understand," she tells him. "I've been out of a job for months. I had to take Victor's offer because I didn't have a choice." Nate's words hit her hard, his response cold yet sharp. "You don't have to bite your tongue, Audra. Just grip your hands tight and do what needs to be done." She feels the sting of his words, a reminder of just how far she's fallen. And yet, she continues her confession, determined to explain herself, to make things right with Nate. Audra tells Nate that she doesn't care about Kyle the way he might think. In fact, she sees Kyle's actions as a potential threat to Claire, his fiancée, and believes that Claire would be better off without him. This revelation hangs in the air between them, her admission that she would never betray Nate, despite everything. It's a conflicted moment, one of sincerity tangled with her own fears and insecurities. The truth about her choices and the people she's willing to sacrifice for her own survival is now exposed, but whether she ever regained Nate's trust is another story entirely. Jack's bold move against Victor Newman. As one of the central figures in Genoa City, Jack Abbott has never been one to back down from a fight, especially when his family's future is at stake. The brainstorm between him and Victor Newman takes a more dangerous turn as Jack finally decides that enough is enough. Tired of Victor's ruthless control over the business world, Jack takes a stand, vowing to do whatever it takes to stop Victor from undermining everything he holds dear. Jack has always been the underdog, constantly trying to outmaneuver Victor. But with the stakes higher than ever, he is ready to play the game on his own terms. However, his actions won't be without consequences. As Jack plans his next move, he finds an unexpected ally in Diane Jenkins, a woman who has long been caught in the crossfire of Jack and Victor's rivalry. Diane, ever the wild card, is prepared to offer her support to Jack, but her motivations remain unclear. Does she have her own agenda? Or is she truly aligned with Jack in his mission to topple Victor? What remains to be seen is just how far Jack is willing to go to bring down Victor. His plan might be reckless, but it's a reflection of his desperation and the breaking point he's reached in this power struggle. As Jack gears up to confront Victor, he knows that there's no going back. The battle for supremacy is about to intensify, and Jack is willing to risk everything to come out on top. Victoria as the pillar of strength. While Jack is preparing for war, Victoria Newman finds herself playing an unexpected role, one of support for her estranged father's rival. In a surprising twist, Victoria becomes Jack's emotional anchor, offering him the strength and perspective he needs to take on Victor. Victoria, ever the strategist, understands the stakes of this battle better than anyone. While her loyalty to her father is unwavering, she can't ignore the gravity of Jack's situation. In a moment of rare vulnerability, she opens up to him about her own struggles and the complex relationship she shares with Victor. "I know what you're going through, Jack," she tells him softly. Victor's control is suffocating. But sometimes we have to make difficult choices to break free. If you want to stop him, you have to be willing to lose everything. Victoria's words, while supportive, come with a hint of warning. She's not entirely sure where this battle will lead, but she knows that Jack is capable of more than he lets on. In many ways, her own journey is tied to Jack's. As the two share this moment of camaraderie, it becomes clear that the stakes have never been higher. Both Jack and Victoria are at the precipice of a new chapter, one that will either bring them together as allies or push them further apart. The road ahead, with betrayals, truths, and power struggles dominating the landscape of Genoa City, the coming days will be a turning point for many characters. Audra's confession to Nate is just the beginning of the unraveling that will expose not just her own demons, but also the fragile alliances she has tried to build. Jack's war with Victor is set to escalate in ways no one can predict, and Victoria's role as an unlikely ally will test her resolve and her relationship with her father. As Y&R continues to weave its intricate web of drama, viewers can expect even more shocking revelations, unexpected alliances, and heart-wrenching moments. In Genoa City, nothing is ever as it seems, and everyone has a price whether they're willing to admit it or not. The battle for control, love, and survival is just getting started, and the true cost of loyalty and ambition will soon be revealed. This article sets the stage for future conflicts and emotional revelations that will undoubtedly keep audiences on the edge of their seats. The consequences of these decisions will reverberate across Genoa City, impacting everyone involved and leaving fans eagerly awaiting the next chapter. The Young and the Restless, a tale of betrayals, broken trust, and strategic alliances. The turbulent lives of the residents of Genoa City continue to unfold in dramatic fashion as long-standing relationships begin to fray and new alliances are tested. At the heart of the drama, Nate Hastings is confronting a painful truth. The person he trusted the most has lied to him for weeks, and the betrayal cuts deeper than anything he could have anticipated. Meanwhile, Jack Abbott finds himself once again caught between his own desires for justice and the complex dynamics within his family. What started as a small misunderstanding is now a massive confrontation, and the stakes could not be higher. The breaking point, Nate's confrontation with Audra. Nate's world shatters when he realizes that Audra Charles has been deceiving him all along. For weeks, he had believed in her and their relationship, but the truth is finally revealed. Audra's ambition was greater than any bond they shared. Nate is no fool. The evidence is undeniable. As he faces Audra, the hurt and anger boil over. "You've been lying to me for weeks," Nate says, his voice thick with disbelief. "You cared more about a company than about us, about what we could have been." His words sting, each one cutting through the air like a sharp knife. He's been hurt before, but nothing has ever felt like this. "If you can't see this as betrayal, then you really have a problem," he adds, his tone heavy with finality. The weight of his words is too much for Audra to bear. She can feel her world slipping away as Nate's accusations hang in the air. She tries to explain, but the damage is already done. Nate, unable to stay in the same space with her, storms out of the room. His steps are heavy, each one carrying him further from the woman he thought he could trust. As Nate walks through the streets of Genoa City, his mind is a whirlwind of confusion and heartbreak. He needs to clear his head to make sense of the chaos Audra has left in her wake. He heads toward the park, hoping the fresh air will offer him some relief. But relief doesn't come easily. Instead, he is greeted by Victoria Newman, who, noticing his troubled state, approaches him with a sympathetic glance. "I'm glad you have people who are there for you," she says softly, her voice full of understanding. "Like Amy and Audra." Nate's expression tightens at the mention of Audra's name. "Everything with Audra is wrong," he mutters, frustration evident in his voice. "People warned me about her, but I refuse to see it. Now my eyes are wide open, and it's over. For good." The words taste bitter on his tongue, but they are the truth. Nate has always been a man who values honesty, and now the truth has forced him to sever ties with the one person he thought would be his partner. Jack and Diane, a moment of reflection. Back at the club, Diane Jenkins and Jack Abbott share a quiet moment over drinks. Diane, ever the strategist, has her own concerns weighing heavily on her mind. "I was hoping to welcome you home with a martini in hand," she says, her voice light but filled with a deeper concern. "But I don't want to get in the way of your son's proposal. I can't help but worrying about it." Jack's gaze hardens at the mention of his son's engagement. "I can't shake the anxiety I feel about this proposal," Jack admits, his voice tinged with both pride and apprehension. His relationship with his son Cal has always been a point of contention, but this engagement feels different. Jack knows that the union with Summer Newman carries heavy implications both for Kyle's future and the Abbott family's legacy. The conversation shifts as Jack's focus turns to Victor Newman. Despite his ongoing personal conflicts, Jack understands the danger Victor poses to his family. "Victor won't cancel the deal Kyle signed," Jack says, the frustration clear in his voice. The weight of the business empire Victor controls looms over everything, and Jack knows that taking down Victor is the only way to ensure his family's future. Jack then turns to Diane, revealing a path forward. "Billy Abbott seems to have a way to fight back and take control from Victor," he says, his words carefully measured. "I think we should all take that route." Jack's voice is steady, but there's an undeniable edge to it. He knows this is a dangerous game, but it's one he must play to protect his own. Diane, always one to think strategically, is quick to voice her support. "If you want to help Billy take Chancellor away from Victor, I'm all in," she agrees, her tone cool but resolute. She has always been someone who can see the bigger picture, and helping Jack dismantle Victor's empire is a move that will only benefit her as well. But Jack isn't just interested in defeating Victor for the sake of business. There's more at play here. "I want to stop Victor once and for all," Jack says, his determination evident. He's tired of being on the defensive, tired of watching Victor manipulate everything from behind the scenes. Diane's eyes narrow as she senses the underlying tension in Jack's words. "Are you sure you're willing to do this, even if it means protecting Nikki?" she asks, her voice laced with curiosity. She knows Jack's complicated feelings for Nikki Newman, his longtime love, and she wonders if that will interfere with his decision-making. Jack's response is simple yet firm. "Yes," he says, his mind made up. "With Billy's help, I'll do whatever it takes." The battle for control, a dangerous alliance. As Jack and Diane strategize over how to take down Victor, the weight of their decision begins to sink in. They know that crossing Victor is no small feat. He has his own power base, his own supporters, and no one, not even Jack, can predict how far Victor will go to protect his empire. Jack's willingness to work with Billy Abbott speaks volumes about the lengths he's willing to go to stop Victor. Billy, despite his own issues with Jack, is an ally in this fight, and they both know that they need each other if they're going to succeed. The stakes are higher than ever, and the lines between right and wrong have become blurred in their pursuit of power and control. In the coming days, Jack and Billy will find themselves drawn into a battle that will test their limits, challenge their loyalties, and force them to confront the very real possibility of losing everything. But one thing is clear: neither of them will back down easily. Their shared hatred of Victor is enough to unite them, even if it means putting everything they hold dear on the line. The road ahead: betrayals, alliances, and power struggles. As these characters move forward, the path they choose will shape their futures and the future of Genoa City itself. Nate, still reeling from Audra's betrayal, must now decide what kind of man he wants to be in the face of the truth. Jack, Diane, and Billy are all poised to challenge Victor in ways that will leave everyone in their wake wondering who will come out on top. But one thing is certain: the fight for power in Genoa City is far from over. Secrets will be exposed, alliances will be tested, and lives will be irrevocably changed. As Y&R continues to unfold, it's clear that no one is safe from the consequences of their actions. The road ahead is fraught with danger, and the final outcome will depend on who is willing to sacrifice the most to achieve their goals. In the world of the young and the restless, betrayal is a constant, but so is the relentless drive for power. And in Genoa City, only the strongest will survive. This article captures the essence of the intense confrontations and emotional turmoil brewing in the young and the restless, as each character is forced to face the repercussions of their actions and the choices they must make in the battle for control, love, and legacy. With high stakes and even higher risks, the coming episodes promise to deliver the kind of drama fans have come to expect from this iconic soap opera. The Young and the Restless, a romantic proposal amidst betrayals. In the ever-complicated world of Genoa City, love and betrayal never seem to be too far apart. The whirlwind of emotions continues as Kyle Abbott tries to make amends for the mistakes he's made and show Claire Newman that he is truly committed to her. But as with all relationships on Y&R, no one can ever be certain of what lies ahead. Kyle, determined to prove his love, arranges a romantic evening that, despite its good intentions, will only serve to highlight the complexities and fragilities of trust, love, and forgiveness. Kyle's romantic gesture: a night of apology and redemption. Kyle's apartment is transformed into a haven of romance. Soft lighting illuminates the room, casting shadows across the carefully set dinner table adorned with fresh roses. A bottle of champagne rests in an ice bucket, its chilled surface glistening with condensation. The faint sound of romantic music fills the air, setting the tone for what Kyle hopes will be a night of healing. His eyes, however, are fixed on a small box tucked safely in a drawer: the engagement ring he's carefully selected for Claire, his love. For weeks, Kyle has struggled with guilt, unable to shake the weight of his past mistakes. He's hurt the woman he loves, lied to her, and betrayed the trust she placed in him. Tonight, he's determined to make things right. As he glances at the ring one more time, a mix of hope and anxiety fills his chest. This gesture is more than just a proposal. It's his attempt at redemption, an offering to the woman who means everything to him. When Claire arrives, her eyes immediately fall on the thoughtful setup. She's clearly touched, though her smile is tinged with skepticism. "You really went all out," she says, her voice soft yet laced with the questions that have been plaguing her heart for weeks. Kyle's gaze softens as he stands to greet her. "Tonight means a lot to me," he says, his voice sincere. He wants to show her that he's truly sorry for everything, that he's willing to do whatever it takes to make things right. As he pours them both a glass of champagne, he takes a deep breath and, with all the vulnerability he can muster, adds, "I regret breaking the trust we had. I'll do anything to fix it." Their glasses clink, a moment of shared understanding amidst the tension that still lingers between them. But the weight of Kyle's words is far from lost on Claire. She studies him for a moment before responding. "You really want me to believe that?" "Yes," Kyle says without hesitation. "I need you to know how sorry I am. How foolish I was to lie to you when everything we had together was real. All I've ever wanted was to be with you, Claire." The long-awaited truth, Claire's doubts. Kyle's words hang in the air, and for a moment, there's silence between them. Claire's brow furrows as she processes his apology. "If everything was real, then why did it take so long for you to tell me the truth?" she asks, her voice tinged with hurt. The question has been at the forefront of her mind ever since she discovered the lies he told. The betrayal stings, and she can't help but wonder why it took Kyle so long to come clean. Kyle struggles with her question, his emotions raw as he tries to explain. "I thought I was protecting you," he admits, looking down at his hands, as if ashamed of himself. "I told myself I would protect you from the truth, from the pain it might cause. But I was wrong. I was just trying to keep everything perfect, and I ended up destroying it all. I'm sorry, Claire." Claire's expression softens, but there's still a wall between them. "So you're saying you only told me the truth because your parents told you it was a good idea?" she asks, her voice rising slightly in disbelief. "Not because of your conscience." Kyle's eyes widen at her words. "No, that's not it," he says quickly, his voice desperate for her to understand. "I wanted to tell you all along, but I was afraid. I was terrified of losing you. I was just too afraid to face it, and that's why it took so long. But now I'm more determined than ever to make this right. A new beginning." Kyle's heartfelt confession. Claire takes a moment to process his words, her eyes searching his face for any signs of insincerity. But all she sees is a man who is deeply remorseful, a man who regrets his mistakes and is trying to find a way back into her heart. Still, she can't ignore the past, the lies, the hurt, the trust that has been broken. "If we're going to do this," she says quietly, her voice steady, "we need to take it slow. Trust takes time." Kyle nods, understanding the gravity of what she's saying. "I can be patient," he replies, his voice soft but unwavering. "I admire you, Claire. I know I might be your first love, but you're my true love. I'll spend the rest of my life showing you that you can trust me again." With those words, something shifts in the room. It's as though the air between them lightens, if only for a moment. There's still a long road ahead, but Kyle's sincerity has broken through the barrier that Claire had erected around her heart. She may not be ready to fully trust him yet, but in this moment, she sees the man she fell in love with and the man he hopes to be. The proposal, a leap of faith. As the evening continues, Kyle's nerves grow, the weight of the moment pressing down on him. He reaches into the drawer, pulling out the small velvet box that holds the ring he's so carefully chosen. His heart pounds in his chest as he turns to Claire, who watches him with a mixture of curiosity and caution. "Kyle," Claire begins, her voice hesitant, "what are you doing?" Kyle takes a deep breath and walks over to her, getting down on one knee. The room falls silent, save for the soft music playing in the background. Claire's eyes widen as she watches him, uncertainty clouding her expression. "I love you, Claire," he says, his voice thick with emotion. "I want to spend the rest of my life proving to you that you can trust me. Will you marry me?" Claire's mouth opens slightly, but she doesn't immediately answer. Her gaze flickers to the ring and then back to Kyle, her mind racing. The question hangs in the air, and for a moment, the tension between them is palpable. Kyle waits, his heart in his throat, hoping against hope that Claire will say yes. "What are you doing?" she asks again, her voice shaky, as if she's trying to process everything in a single moment. She can't help but feel overwhelmed by the weight of Kyle's gesture. It's too much, too soon. "Just say yes," Kyle says gently, his eyes filled with hope. "Will you marry me?" Claire looks at him for a long time, searching his face for the truth. And in that moment, despite the past that haunts them both, She sees the man who loves her, the man who is ready to start over, to rebuild what they lost. Yes, she finally whispers, her voice barely audible. Yes, I'll marry you. As Kyle slips the ring onto her finger, a sense of hope fills the room. They both know that their journey is far from over, but in this moment, they are taking the first step toward rebuilding their relationship, one that has been tested by lies and betrayals, but now has the chance to grow into something new. A new chapter begins. For Kyle and Claire, this engagement marks the beginning of a new chapter in their relationship, one that will not be without its challenges. The road to rebuilding trust is never easy, and the past will always linger in the background, threatening to resurface. But with the promise of a fresh start, Kyle and Claire have decided to take the leap together, hoping that love, with patience and time, will ultimately be enough to heal the wounds of the past. As the night continues, the future remains uncertain, but for the first time in a long while, both of them feel a sense of hope. The mistakes they've made may never be fully erased, but in each other, they have found a reason to believe in second chances. This romantic proposal, filled with emotion and vulnerability, showcases the journey of Kyle and Claire, a couple trying to overcome the shadows of their past while looking forward to a future filled with love and possibility. Will their love be enough to overcome the hurdles that lie ahead? Only time will tell, but for now, they are ready to embrace the future together.